You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe.
That's Greta Thunberg, who is famous for being an aggressive climate activist. She's also underage, she's only a teenager, but she has pushed for politicians to pursue aggressive action in response to climate change. In fact, it was due to her political activism that led to last Friday's global climate youth strike, and we did some special coverage on that. An estimated 4 million people took to the streets to demand action by politicians in their country. Now, right-wingers like Dinesh D'Souza don't really stop at how low they'd go to attack people they disagree with, even if they're talking about children. And in this case, he compared Thunberg to a Nazi via Twitter. He tweeted the following: children, notably Nordic white girls with braids and red cheeks, were often used in Nazi propaganda, an old Goebbels technique. Looks like today's progressive left is still learning its game from an earlier left in the 1930s.
Okay, so, I mean, do we really have to break it down? Yeah, okay, fine, we will. So first of all, comparing a young girl to a Nazi, not cool to say the least, especially when she's trying to save the planet rather than burn it down. Number two, curious, it seemed like an attack on white people. But my guess the right wing will be like, oh yeah, that's okay. I love it when Dinesh D'Souza attacks Nordic white girls. Fascinating. And then I'm not gonna let it slide that he said an earlier left in the 1930s. I mean, this is how stupid Dinesh D'Souza is. And like, if he wasn't someone who was a relevant figure in the right wing, he'd be a fringe, like in an earlier time, he'd be a fringe radical that you'd never even bothered quoting because of the preposterous things he says. The Nazis were on the left. No sane person in the world believes that. But whatever the Republicans are guilty of, that's Dinesh D'Souza's calling card to then apply it to the left. Oh yeah, being racist and being in favor of the Klan. Oh, Democrats. Yeah, it was Democrats. They're the ones who are doing that. Nazis. Yeah, that's more liberals. Yeah. The Nazis are like the best known right-wing group in world history, right? Now, if you said it about the Soviets, okay, then you'd have a point, and you could make a point about whether it's Stalin or Mao, etc. But to call the Nazis the left is so patently stupid that it should eliminate you from any national conversation.
What's heartbreaking is in the video that we showed, it ends with Thunberg saying, "I don't want to believe that people are this evil." And it's heartbreaking for me because she's gonna realize, if she hasn't already, that there are a lot of evil people in the world, including people like Dinesh D'Souza, who's willing to attack a teenager just because he simply disagrees with climate activism.
Yeah, I think we're at a real moment of reckoning. You know, we had a multi-100-person climate strike in Columbus last week as well, youth that had organized it. And just looking at that imagery of youth that are calling out leadership, and really a generation of leadership that has not listened to the science, that has put money over protecting us. And what are you gonna say when children are now calling you out? And then to attack a child who's doing that, where we know she's coming from a very pure place and really sacrificing to help us all. It's inexcusable.
You make such a good point, and just to give you a sense of the type of fight you can expect from someone like Thunberg and how frustrated she is with older generations and their inaction. Take a look at this next clip, it's really powerful.
I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering, people are dying, entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Man.
I absolutely love it. She's 100% right. Guys, think about the two groups of people that now give us the truth more than anyone else. comedians and kids. So, and I'll tell you why. So Daily Show started this under Jon Stewart, where he was calling out and doing truth to power. And other comedians do it as well. And Jon Stewart literally got the healthcare for 9/11 responders passed almost single-handedly. And now kids, whether it's the Parkland survivors or Greta Thunberg in this case, are calling out the adults. The reason is because the adults aren't doing a goddamn thing. Because our politicians are corrupted by the money. And yes, that is evil. And so she has the strength and the courage, and to some degree the innocence, to be able to call it what it is. Because when you get older, you get compromised. You get compromised by, hey, don't say that. Remember, our Democratic colleagues are also taking fossil fuel money. You'll endanger their districts. Don't say it. So, well, what are the Democrats, some portion of them are voting with the Republicans to make sure we don't do Green New Deal. Don't say it, otherwise you'll offend people in the club. Well, Greta's not in the club. The Parkland survivors are not in the club. So they can come out and say to Marco Rubio, you took the NRA money and that's why you won't do anything about gun violence. Shouldn't the anchors have already said that, or at least asked that question? But they won't do it because, oh, we need access to politicians. Shouldn't the Democrats have already called out the fossil fuel companies? No, but our beloved colleagues are also taking millions of dollars from them. So they're compromised. So it leaves it to the kids and the comics. And that's what we have left. Because the adults in the room are not adults. They're not taking responsibility like a grown-up should. Instead, they're really errand boys for the corrupt system that we have now that has led to this, and she is right about it, existential threat to the planet because of their goddamn greed. Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.